Hi, I'm Mary, a librarian and book reviewer with a focus on stories written for kids, tweens, and teens. Today I get to share with you this book called Nettle by Bex Hogan. There once was a girl called Nettle, and she was just as prickly and venomous as the plant she was named for. But that's not her real name, it's just the name that she's been called. And she's grown up with her grandmother and all the stories her grandmother has told her about the land of fairies. Her grandmother, though, is starting to become ill, and Nettle, for as much as she enjoys her independence, can't imagine life without her grandmother. So she makes a desperate plea to the world and finds herself transported to the land of the fairies. There she meets the fairy king, and she offers to do anything to bring her grandmother back to health. Little does she know that all the fairy stories her grandmother has told her are true, and there are a lot of lies and trickery to be found in the land of the Fae. So Nettle has to do what she can to make friends in this new place, to do the things that the Fairy King has asked of her, despite the fact that they seem impossible, and to find a way back to her grandmother while her grandmother still has time left. This early young adult story is great for those readers who are transitioning from middle grade to young adult literature because it is accessible. It's written in a way that is very approachable and also straightforward, and it also has a lot of the complex young adult kind of ideas in it. So finding yourself, trying to figure out who is trustworthy, who is interesting romantically, and how to move forward when life inevitably gets challenging. The book is a standalone, which is also really nice for readers. So those who enjoy fantasy and fairy stories but don't want to have to invest in an entire series, this is a great one because it does wrap up at the end. So you have various characters in the book. You also see there's not a huge amount of white space, but it does flow quickly because of the design of the story. And for anyone who is familiar with fairy stories, they're going to find a lot of parallels and familiar storylines and plots within this book, especially with how the Fae treat humans and how they twist words around sometimes in order to get what they want. So the story focuses on Nettle, and it focuses on how she can manipulate a little bit the fairy world in order to achieve her goals. And also she finds a lot of characters in this place that, while it is magical on its face, these characters are trapped in a way, and she is a new addition to this landscape that brings some change for everyone she interacts with. The story is cozy in its design. There is some light romance, but not a whole lot of that. There is some danger and peril, which adds to the complexity of the narrative and also anchors it into that young adult space. But it is well suited to those readers who are ready for a bit of a challenge, ready for more complex literature, and aren't quite ready for the more intense young adult stories that do exist. So this is a nice transition piece. If this sounds like a great fit for you or for someone you know, I hope you look for it wherever you get your books.